What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand. It's Tuesday. You know what that means. It's time for another episode of Tuesday's Talk for your February 1st,
right here.
2022. Oh, gosh. I am your host, Noah, and this is Outside the Brand. Tonight is a bit different. We have a very special guest and topic. We actually have two guests here on the podcast and a very special topic to talk about tonight here on the show. My boy Loff is going to be explaining everything about tonight's show in just a little bit. But guys, how the heck are you? Deron, is a pleasure to meet you. I mean, we've had you on here before, but yeah, it's a great time to show you. Once again, you're here. It's going to be a great show, man. How are you? Good, man. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a fun time. And this is going to be probably one of the most fun episodes that we'll ever film. So let's get this going. Anthony, how are you, my man? You're usually regular here on Tuesday's Talk, but what's going on, man? How's life? How's everything going? What's the TikTok journey going on? And tell me what you're up to right now.
Nothing much, just been making some content as much as I can. Just doing my thing. Had some videos taken down, but we won't go into that. If you want to check that out, go and check out my page. But
listen, all of that's over there, so we're good to go there.
Yeah, so if you want the tea, go ahead and check out my page. But it's just been making some funny videos. I've been making memes, talking, crap on WWE and AEW. So don't call me a loyal in that aspect. But
no shill over here for Heel Anthony. Well, yeah, man, you went under a rebrand. You're now known as Heel Anthony. What made you actually think about going into that whole rebranding? And you were doing a little bit more stuff other than just professional wrestling. I hear you doing some horror horror filming and all that stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to do a rebrand just because, my boy Comic Punk guy, he made me a shirt. He made me a logo, and so if you want to check that out, links in our bio. Both me and Phil have some designs on there. But
all the proceeds will go to charities as well. Just want to let that be known.
Yeah, nothing's going to us, but he recommended me getting a different kind of name that's a little more brand friendly, and I figure I've always been more fond of heels anyway, so I figured why not? And then looking at just like the different stuff I'm into, figured I'd do a little bit more horror. People aren't surprised about that because they knew from my Halloween stuff that I really do enjoy horror. So yeah, doing a little bit different. It seems to be going well. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Loff, we got a very special episode tonight, man. You've been wanting to do this kind of an idea and topic for a very long time. What are we doing here tonight on the podcast?
Tonight, I'm here to talk about the greatness of the Undertaker.
Damn. He went into his demonic narration voice right there. Wow, that was incredible.
I don't get deep enough. Pause.
Don't let Vince get in here, please. But in all seriousness, man, what's going on? What are we doing here on the show tonight?
All right, so the idea I proposed is everyone on the panel tonight pick a specific wrestler, and we get a few points, a little bit of time to explain to each other and y'all, the chat, who we think the greatest wrestler in the world is, or the greatest wrestler of all time, I should say, because in the world would imply that it's active wrestlers. We're going to expand this to every wrestler ever, every wrestler in every brand, company, whatever. So it can go as broad as you want to. As you can see, you guys know who I picked, and next week we're going to do for the females. greatest female wrestler of all time. So I think it should be fun.
So, by your picture, you chose the Undertaker.
I did.
It says in the description that you chose Cena. I did not know you changed. I'll change it. But yeah. So you got the Undertaker. I myself picked Bryan Danielson. My boy, Anthony over here, he chose. You can say yours, my man. It's a pretty interesting one right there.
Yeah, I being the anti Hulk Hogan guy, I picked Hogan just as a little challenge to myself. I have my reasons, of course, but I'll definitely go into them a little bit later. But yeah, I picked him. So we'll see.
And Darren, you mind telling everybody here who you picked for your superstar? Mentioning of all of this when it comes to the podcast tonight.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley. Let's go. This is going to be a lot of fun, guys. What is the criteria for for GOAT? That is a very that could there's so much that can go into the criteria of all that, but honestly, you know what? That's honestly a good question for all y'all. What goes into your criteria for when you're trying to pick the greatest of all time in professional wrestling? Or any sport, really?
I mean, I was just gonna leave it up to us, you know what I'm saying? Because I think all of us can bring certain points that can make our wrestler of choice seem like the greatest. I didn't want to limit it to a certain 3 things just because I feel like there may be one thing that, say if I picked Rey Mysterio and Phil picked Matt Hardy, Rey Mysterio's peak is actually different than Matt Hardy's because both of them were booked differently. You know what I'm saying? Matt Hardy was more pushed to the side when his brother was there, and Rey Mysterio was more world title. He had his first big run when he was young, and then in his older years on SmackDown, he was in the mid card, then went back up, then went down. You know what I'm saying? It's a fluctuating thing with these wrestlers, so I don't want to go with like peak. Dominance is up there, longevity is up there. But I really just wanted to make it as broad as possible, just for us to make up our own. I have like 5 points I listed, so they're really specific to Undertaker. So leave it open to whoever's speaking at the moment and see if we can get each other to agree or disagree or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The point of the discussion and a mutual agreement at the end, and then just if the chat wants to decide who you think makes the best argument for the wrestler. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay, man. That's awesome. That's a great answer. We got 4 superstars to talk about. We can go into as long as we want to when it comes to just how everybody wants to, critique their superstar and everything like that. But without further ado, I have to, as always, as we like to call selling out over here, it's time to get started with the show. But first, I want you guys to go follow all of us on social media. All of the TikTok links are down in the description below, especially for our 2 guests right here, and Anthony and Darren. Those 2 links for their TikToks are down in the description below. If you don't follow them, go follow them already. They make great content over on their channels. Follow all of us on their social media. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @PhilAndMatt_. Continue to hit that subscribe button down below as we are on the road to 400 subscribers. Technically 500. We want to get that by WrestleMania. But man, that would be an absolute amazing accomplishment. So go click that subscribe button. Also, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button as well, as that helps the channel absolutely tremendously. Let's get this video to 10 likes here on the podcast tonight. Make sure to go to bonfire.com. Anthony, it's been a long time since you've been here, but bonfire.com is the official home and the only place where you can grab outside the brand merchandise. We actually have a merch store now. It's not totally live just yet because we're trying to get everybody's merch and designs up there on the store, but that is the best place and the only place where you guys can get outside the brand merchandise. All the merch will be there waiting for you guys to enjoy when the store is up and live. And finally, all I want to say is just thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you guys have given us here on the podcast. We continue to grow each and every single day, and we could not be doing this without all of you. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's talk about these 4 amazing superstars here in the world of professional wrestling. Who wants to start off first? Or should I just do a wheel spin and we just do whoever? Because I can get a wheel easily, but whoever wants to volunteer can volunteer as well.
I don't know. I mean, I'll go second. I ain't gonna lie.
Sure.
You'll go second.
I'll go first. I don't mind.
Okay.
So, as I said earlier, I decided to pick Hulk Hogan, which is really funny coming from me, just being the fact that if you know from like the origins of my page, I am the anti-Hulk Hogan guy. I've never discredited him in any way. I just talked about a lot of the stuff he's lied about in his 30 years of being in the business, or however long he's been in the business about. But, you know, my criteria for what I consider to be like the GOAT is obviously, longevity, how long they can make an impact in the business or just be in the business, and what impact they left, you know, the legacy that they've had since they've been out of the business. I do take wrestling ability to a certain degree. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be putting out 5-star matches all the time. Since a lot of the people that you would consider to be the GOAT don't always put on the best matches sometimes. And just look and promo ability is a big deal with me as well. Me believing in you and your character and whatnot is very important to me as well. And I feel that the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, is probably one of the best in terms of all of the categories that I use as the GOAT. You know, when most non-wrestling fans think of a professional wrestler, one of the biggest people that comes to mind is Hulk Hogan. He's one of the biggest. You know, and let me see. Just in terms of wrestling, just as it is now, I feel like wrestling wouldn't be where it's at today if it wasn't for a guy like Hulk Hogan kind of being a stepping stone as well. And let me see. I mean, Hogan's got one of those big images in terms of wrestling, and I feel like if it wasn't for him doing what he did in the 80s with the Rock and Wrestling Connection and, you know, making WrestleMania this big spectacle, I just don't think that pro wrestling would be the big thing that it is nowadays, you know? But yeah.
All right, man. Thank you. Hogan, whether you like him or whether you don't, Hulk Hogan has definitely laid the groundwork for professional wrestling, especially during the time that he was active within the company. Who knows if pro wrestling would be where it's at today if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, like you said, or pretty much any of the other great legends of this business that you can pretty much consider as some of the greatest of all time. So, Laf, the floor is yours, my man. We got the Undertaker up and ready to go for your faces.
All right, so I had John Cena, but after I thought about it while I was in class today, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do Undertaker. I think Undertaker's impact is different than any other wrestler ever. My first point is the streak. I think while I feel like it shouldn't have been ended, it's something that is an aspect of professional wrestling that I don't think will ever be replicated again. Like we've always had streaks like Goldberg streak, or you can even say Roman streak right now being Universal Champion. But the Undertaker streak, I think, was a different. It was. I think it was different just because I feel like it came out of nowhere. There was no real planning for him to go undefeated. I feel it just started like that, and he became so much of a icon just off of that, And he doesn't really have bad matches as like Undertaker, as a whole doesn't really have bad matches, but there was a different standard at WrestleMania, And I feel like the only match that you can say that wasn't at least 4 stars match was that really quick match against Cena. I think even the Boneyard match against AJ, I think that was a 4 star match just because of how cinematic it was and how much storytelling was done only in that match. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely have The Undertaker as one of the greats just off of that. My second point is The Undertaker's presence. I think when Undertaker walks into a room, whether he has the gear on or not, I think there's a ominous that he has. I think there's an aura that he has that can't really be replicated just because of how dominant he is as a person and as a wrestler. Unfortunately, I've never been in the same room as him, but I just feel like it would be something that I'm not sure I would be able to even fathom because as a kid, I saw him as just like I didn't even see him as human. I just saw him like just like an entity, And even though that's really gotten less prominent as I've gotten older, I think he even still holds that standard to a lot of the wrestlers in the back, no matter what. I think that whenever Undertaker walks into a room, he really just demands respect without saying a word. And I think that really does a lot of I think that makes a lot of people really understand how this man was dominating for a long period of time. And at any period of time he could still be that, as far as like booking, obviously. But I think that he's one of those wrestlers that if you want to put him in a strong position, it'll make sense. It doesn't matter how old he will be. You want to put him in a strong position, even if he's not wrestling, it's still going to work. You know what I'm saying? My third point is his entrance. I think The Undertaker has one of the best, if not the best, entrances in the history of professional wrestling. Just the slow walk and the fire and the music, and I think his Ministry of Darkness theme was the best theme he ever had. I think it really just fit his character, and it actually sounded terrifying. I can tie that with the Johnny Cash theme that he used. I think he used that like once or twice. But that theme as well, I feel like he should have used it more because it was just absolutely freaking sick when he came out with that. Um, I think there's certain things that come with the Undertaker just as far as like every WrestleMania, he always found a way to make his entrance that much different. Like that one year, I forget what year it was, but he had it was like people like it looks like they're like grabbing at him from like the side of the ramp, and I think that visual is one of the most insane visuals in like ever. I forget what WrestleMania was, but man, I think that has to be his best entrance in WrestleMania. That was just absolutely insane as a visual. Um, even when you hear that bell, something bad's about to happen, and that bell is used in social media everywhere, just as like a meme and stuff. But you hear that bell and the lights go off, something bad's about to happen soon. So I think that's something that will never die, no matter where he goes. You know, I think it's a huge part, if not the big part of his character. And the last point I have really is just his moveset. I feel like he has one. I know that everybody likes to push it forward. Every time Undertaker has a match, they tell you he's the best pure striker in the company, all that stuff. But his moveset is definitely something that I think a lot of people don't give him credit for because Undertaker at his peak would had to be like a little under 300 pounds. He was diving, he was doing toupee dives outside of the ring, just like flawlessly and clearing the ropes. I think that's like him at his height and his weight, and barring the WrestleMania botch, at WrestleMania 25 botch, where he damn near killed that cameraman. I think just like that, even with that, he still freaking looked amazing in midair while doing that. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't know how hard that is. You know what I'm saying? Not only for a wrestler to do, but a wrestler his size to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think alongside with that, and I feel like the Hell's Gate is a very underrated submission. Um, I think it doesn't really look like it hurts, but like when he does it, whoever is in it, they look like they're having the worst time in their life, and I think that is really a. I think it's like a really big aspect of just um how he never really had to win matches with. Yeah, like yeah, I forget what show it was. My friends will listen to this too on my ear. One freaking match. Undertaker had Edge in the move, and there was blood coming out of Edge's mouth. I don't know what show that was, but just moves like that is just like it's just like a choke on his boot, but it just looks like he's putting you in absolute despair. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is just something that a lot of people don't give Undertaker credit for, just because I feel like his wrestling style isn't really what's good right now. I would say I don't want to say it's bad, but I feel like his wrestling style changed over the years just due to how bad he had to freaking rehab his body after having amazing matches for as long as he was. But I mean, you have to respect stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And my last point is his promos. I think he has one of the best promos in wrestling history. I think no matter what, I think he could really sell a match. If he was to go out there and have a match with a broomstick, I think Undertaker could go out there and make you want to watch that match. I don't know how he does it. He consistently does it. And even with matches that I never wanted to see, like the second Triple H match, I did not want to see until I saw it. You know what I'm saying? I once he beat Triple H the first time, I was like, yeah, I don't need to see this again. Until I watched it again, I was like, yeah, this is needed. You know what I'm saying? And especially his stuff with Shawn, I believe that like that was just the best storytelling in the history of the company, of WWE at least. But yeah, man, I think all of those things really lead to Undertaker being just absolutely amazing as a wrestler. And yeah, I don't think Brock Lesnar should have beat him. I don't think Roman Reigns should have beat him. And I think if it was up to me, Undertaker would have retired undefeated, and he would have retired beating Roman Reigns, beating Brock Lesnar, beating AJ, beating Cena, beating everybody. Because I think that he's earned that just for his devotion to the company all these years. And yeah, I think that he should be looked at as the best wrestler of all time, just off of everything that I listed. And I'm sure there's some things I didn't even say. I'm sure there's some things I didn't even say. But yeah, man, that's all I got.
I found out what entrance that was too. That was WrestleMania 29.
29, yeah.
29.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that was the second Triple H match, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or no, that was 28 that he did the second Triple H match.
The CM
29 was CM Punk. Yeah. 29 was CM Punk.
Match.
But yeah, man, Undertaker is involved in one of my favorite wrestling matches of all time against, obviously, Shawn Michaels at 25. Like you said, the storytelling that the man proves every single time he steps in the ring is undeniably amazing. For a man his size, like, he should not be able to move that well up until the point where, obviously, when he kind of slowed down a little and everything, that there were so many moments in Undertaker's career. I'm like, what the heck is he? And like, this man is just flying around like an absolute maniac, flying around like a cruiserweight, and this man is like over or nearly 300 pounds. The man is absolutely great. I firmly agree with you that the streak should have not ended, but you live and you learn. The Undertaker is one of the greats, and you can't really, I can't really dispute anything otherwise. So, great job, man. Great job.
I got a point that you didn't bring up, Loft, that I think would definitely kind of, in my opinion, make him one of the greatest of all time too. It's just the fact that he, in the 30 years that he was wrestling, even in just WWE, the amount of times that he would reinvent himself, to fit the times. In my opinion, he's like the Madonna of professional wrestling in that aspect, because he went from, the different eras of like WWF in the golden era to like Attitude Era to the Ruthless Aggression. And he kept changing his character enough to where it was fresh in everybody's mind, and I definitely appreciated that too, because he never felt stale. At least to me, he never felt stale, and it allowed him to develop his moveset from being that mindless zombie that he started off as to this person jumping over the top rope in WrestleManias, So yeah, I definitely would not disagree with you on that whatsoever.
All right. Now, Darren, if you want to go for Dean Ambrose or Moxley, you can. If not, I got my stuff for Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan right here, ready to go. You want to go or should I? Oh, me? Okay. So guys, let's switch it over right here. As you guys know, I picked Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. I will be talking about I'll be talking about just his career and everything like that, and how I believe he is one of the greatest of all time to really ever be a part of the world of professional wrestling. As we all know, he started in the world of professional wrestling. He debuted in the year 1999, and he's won multiple championships in his illustrious career as a professional wrestler. But it's not about what championships he has won, it's what he has done with those championships that make him all the much more special. I think we can all agree to some extent that he's one of the best in-ring workers, especially of this generation when it comes to professional wrestling, and his work rate is absolutely incredible. And not only that, but the way that he continues, like you said about The Undertaker, Anthony, continues how to, he just evolves himself over the years of being a professional wrestler, and not just in ring, but his character building skills as well is just as impressive as his in ring skills alone. We all know that Daniel Bryan and the whole Yeselmania storyline were the whole authority, but with that storyline alone, you couldn't just help but not gravitate towards the man. And after all of that, the man continued to reinvent himself every single time he was a part of professional wrestling. When he decided to leave WWE to venture on into a new company, as we all know as AEW, he debuted on September 5th at All Out 2021. As we all know, he had an amazing match against Kenny Omega, who was the AEW World Champion at the time, at Grand Slam. Which was actually, and I just found this out today, that was Dave Meltzer's first ever 5-star match that Bryan actually ever got from him. Not that that matters or anything, but I'm just saying, just to give that point out there. After Danielson was inserted into that AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament, he was then determined as the #1 contender for the world title. And when he faced Hangman Adam Page, I'm just going to say it right now, he took it upon himself to show more of a heelish side towards him. He continued each and every week to try to become more of a heel so that he can help Hangman get over with the fans. And when he had his match against Hangman at Winter is Coming, the man could absolutely just get the crowd to hate him, but still gravitate towards him in ways that we've never even really seen before. Danielson continued his heel run after that. He's been absolutely killing it ever since. Danielson is not only a great person inside the ring, but outside as well. He continues to reinvent himself, and he's just been one of the greats when it comes to just professional wrestling as a whole. He builds up stories and characters to go along with the times, just like any other person would in this day of age. And whether he's a babyface or a heel, you just can't help but gravitate towards the man because he is just that damn good. So yeah, Bryan Danielson, absolutely, in my mind, one of the greatest to ever do it. Just not in the ring, but character building as well. Man's absolutely killing it right now, and he's one of my favorites right now in the world of professional wrestling just because of that alone. Fans are fickle, yes, but that was honestly one of my best storylines from him as well in WWE when he was a part of the when he was doing that whole eco-friendly thing. I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut anybody off, but when he was doing that eco-friendly storyline with him and everything when he was WWE champion, that was one of my favorite things about him because that was just him being real. And I feel like this heel version of Bryan Danielson rather, in AEW is probably some of the most realist stuff that we have seen from Bryan in his entire career. So, yeah, Bryan Danielson is one of the best, in my opinion.
Very nice, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I definitely agree. He is not only somebody who, being an indie darling, I remember not really caring too much about him just because I wasn't into the indie scene because I was a WWE guy. And he sold me, especially with like the Yes movement and then his whole heel turn really just like got me to believe in him. And that is something I really miss in wrestling characters now is just believing in them and wanting to give me a reason to see them. And he definitely sold me on that. And talk about a guy who puts his body on the line every night, and that
Exactly.
I appreciate. I mean, they always show his like after scars, like especially across his chest and whatnot. And I just was like, damn, all right, that he definitely is giving me a reason to want to check him out. And I always know he's going to put a 5-star classic on, and he's definitely, in my opinion, like the Bret Hart of like this generation. Somebody that I know is always going to produce a quality match, and anybody that he works with is going to be elevated to that next level. So
I can honestly say I could see that comparison a lot, honestly. So good job on that comparison. But yeah, well, if you got anything else to say about my choice and what happened here?
I feel like I've said this so many times on the chat. I think Roman Reigns, his best match as Universal Champion was the match on SmackDown. Jesus, against Daniel Bryan, Bryan's last match. I think that was just a complete example of two amazing wrestlers just killing it, and that was one of the matches where I really thought Bryan was about to win. But I do think, and this might be one of like a scalding hot taker or whatever, but I think what he's doing in AEW right now has the potential to be better than his huge face run. What was that? 2014, right?
2014 was the whole WrestleMania stuff, yeah.
I feel like what he's doing at AEW right now, if executed the right way, can be not bigger but better than what he was doing in WWE at that point. I feel like there's lots of things that were slowed down during that, like the Royal Rumble. I feel like he should have won, and like I think that was 2014 as well. The Rumble that I think Batista won that one, or Roman or Batista won that one.
2014 he won. Batista won, I believe, and then 2015 that was Roman, and everybody wanted Bryan to win that 2015 Rumble, and I don't care what anybody says. I think everybody wanted Bryan to be there. But he was like eliminated in like the first 10 minutes of him being there, and everybody was just booing the heck out of him, out of everything. So yeah, I don't think it's a hot take really at all, though, dude. This heel run that Bryan's on right now is, I think, more him than I have ever really seen. The eco-friendly stuff, that was him, and that was like all his idea and how everything came about with that. But this is the Bryan Danielson we technically even really saw when he was back in the Ring of Honor. And he became more physical in many ways than one. So this your take is honestly not that far-fetched, I'd say.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I freaking love what he's doing in AEW right now. I think that's like my favorite part of AEW right now. Just everything that he's doing. I think it's absolutely planned.
He turned heel to help Hangman out because there wasn't really that big heel that he can go up against because Kenny Omega was on his way out. Not of the company, but to heal up. So he took it upon himself to say, hey, I'll turn heel and we'll see if we can get this done. We'll see if we can get the crowd over with him. And obviously that worked. We saw we saw 2 matches with them, right? Yeah, we saw 2 matches. And both of them were bangers. Both of them. So yeah, man, Danielson, he's always had a special place in my heart because I have seen him throughout his entire career with Ring of Honor and all that stuff. But that may be biased. That may be, but I just think he has totally reinvented himself in order to get him to where he is today.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
I'm gonna just play Dark Magician.
All right, Darren, it's up. Moxley, Ambrose, what you got for us, my man?
They both have one of the greatest years in WWE. Being Shield and having some of the greatest moments. Cashing in on his former Shield member, Seth Rollins. Then having one of the greatest feuds with both of his brothers of the Shield. And having one of the greatest rivalries with AJ Styles. And then 2018 was his last year to ever compete with his brothers. He headed to the indie scene and collected more championships on the indies. Then when AEW hit, he went there and became John Moxley. Can you hear me?
We're good.
Where he won the AEW championship with Eddie Kingston. That's all I know about Dean Ambrose.
Okay. Listen, Ambrose and Moxley's great. I love Moxley. I followed Moxley for a very long time when he was a part of when he was doing his indie promotions and all that kind of stuff. He was just a rough and tough type of dude. And then he came to WWE, formed the Shield. Absolutely amazing stuff going on there. When he was in AEW, became one of the first world champions, not the first, but one of. And he's just been absolutely killing it right now. He did have to go. He did have to go away, due to the whole rehab situation and everything like that. But when he came back, he went better than ever. This man's going to be absolutely killing it in AEW now. And at the end of the day, I think Moxley can be going down as one of the greats to ever do it, especially a part of this generation, depending on who you talk to. And yeah, man, this guy is going to be absolutely great. He's far from done, so we'll see what his legacy can bring going forward. But man, Moxley's great. So I'm not going to. I don't want to totally disagree with you or totally agree with you just yet, because Moxley, he's far from done. So let's see what he can do from here on out when it comes to his career, just in professional wrestling as a whole.
Yeah, we shall definitely see where he's going. You know, me and my first interaction with John, or as Dean Ambrose, was, you know, in WWE, and I actually was able to actually see him wrestle, which is really cool that I can say that.
Ever seeing him wrestling is cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
You know, that was back when he was still WWE champion. You know, love that run. I thought it was a really cool moment that he got to be a part of, you know, having all three Shield members be WWE champion in that same night. I thought that was a really cool moment. Obviously, he's part of like one of the biggest factions that WWE's had in recent years, and just the stuff that he's been doing in AEW is incredible. All exploding ring deathmatch aside.
There you go.
But, you know, I mean, he's had a pretty good career there, and I love his work in GCW. I think that the fact that he's still willing to put his body on the line, even now, being in like the later part of his career, not that he's done at all, but just, you know, he's not the young kid that he was anymore. The fact that he's still willing to do that and go to war with guys like Nick Gage is just incredible, you know. And I
looked it up right now. He's an 18-year veteran. He started in 2004. So the guy, he's been around. He's been around.
And I can definitely see like John being this generation's like extreme icon, the hardcore icon. Besides, you know, guys like Nick Gage, just because John's on a bigger platform than somebody like Gage is. But I can definitely see him or Gage being like the Mick Foley of this generation. You know, that hardcore icon. Like when you think of like barbed wire, you think of, you know, John. So definitely someone that is going to be a GOAT, and someone that is a GOAT right now too. So.
What you got for Ambrose, or Moxley now?
I think he really is up there as one of the best wrestlers of our generation, just mainly off of his story and his comeback, and obviously what he's doing at AEW right now. I feel like he was used a little weird in WWE during his like big push, but I mean it got him to the point where he's at now. So, but this is definitely my favorite version of him. I wasn't a big fan of the whole Dean Ambrose thing, the whole lunatic fringe. What really wasn't my thing, but this right here, him just going out and then easily winning matches. I love it, and yeah, man, he's definitely on my list of wrestlers of this generation for sure. Best wrestler of this generation, no question about it.
Good job, man. Good job. All right. Those were all the four that we had, but I saw something going on in the chat. If you guys didn't see it, our girl Betty Lou, it looks like if you've seen the chat, Betty, if you're still here, we enjoyed having you here for as long as you've been here. Yes, it did take a little bit of time before we actually, got to trust you and figure out everything going on. But if this is the last time that we see you here on OTB in the chat, we just wish you the best of luck, and hopefully one day we can reunite. But yeah, Betty Lou, you're one of the OTB OGs, and you're going to be sorely missed. I'm so sorry that you have to leave, but But hey, do you? And we all wish you the best of luck. Did you see that, Law?
Yeah, I'm about to cry in here. Why are y'all leaving, dog?
Betty, no, don't leave.
Leaving?
We love you, Betty. It did take about 6 or 7 accounts, but that was just me being mad at Monday Night Raw. You can't blame me on that. Monday Night Raw was terrible when you first tried to join. It was bad. But in all seriousness, Betty, we wish you the best of luck, and maybe one day soon we can cross paths. Mango, I'm sorry. That we don't want you to leave either. I feel so bad. But hey, we wish you the best of luck as well, Mango, and maybe one day we can relink at some point. I love the 6 to 7 account stuff. Thank you so much, Betty. We'll miss you. We appreciate you, and yeah, it was awesome. Luff, guys, Saul chimed in on who we want to talk about as one of the greatest professional wrestlers to ever do it in the history of this sport. He honestly chose my favorite wrestler of all time, HBK. HBK. There's a reason why he's one of my favorite. Why he is my favorite professional wrestler of all time. Storytelling, obviously great. His in-ring work is amazing. The man can absolutely do everything, and he was in some controversial moments in his early stages of his career. I will say that. And Montreal Screwjob aside, but that was controversial in itself. But part of DX, Hall of Famer, HBK is definitely one of the greats to ever do this in the world of professional wrestling. So HBK definitely should be up there on that list.
Yeah, no, I definitely have to agree. He's definitely a GOAT, and one of the best in-ring performers, regardless of whether you like him as a person or not. Many people will agree that he's one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time, and I have loved a lot of his matches. And in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons to watch the new generation era of WWF, right before the Attitude Era started, when it was like a bunch of like dumb gimmicks, he was one of the biggest pillars to hold that company up on his back, and was definitely like something to watch back in the day. And was lucky enough that when I started watching wrestling, he had come back for a few years and was still putting on stuff with DX, and then putting on bangers with Undertaker. Another person we've agreed is a GOAT. So definitely one of the greatest of all time. All controversies aside.
What you got, Law, for about HBK? Do you think he's one of the greats to ever do this? Just like Saul was mentioning.
My issue really lies with, I think, it's this hard for me to say. Let me figure out what it says. I like Sean. I do. For some reason, I've never seen the appeal. I don't know why I've never seen the appeal. It's just like I've never seen what everyone else saw when watching his matches, and I never really understood why. And when people ask me, I really can't explain it to them. Maybe one day I'll be able to, but right now I still don't know why he just doesn't resonate with me at the moment. Is he one of the best wrestlers of all time? For sure. You know what I'm saying? But just as for me, I don't think I'll ever acknowledge him in that way until I fully figure out what is my distaste with him and like why it hasn't changed. You know what I'm saying? But if we're talking about best wrestlers ever, Shawn Michaels is definitely up there. He's put on some of my favorite matches of all time, and he's put on. I think the best spot in Raw history was that springboard from Shelton Benjamin when Shawn kicked him out of midair. I think that was one of the most beautiful spots ever. So just off of that, I think just off of that, the Ric Flair match, the amazing WrestleMania 25 match, and the okay 26 match. I think 25 was better, but same difference. But yeah, best performers, one of the best performers of all time, definitely Shawn Michaels is up there.
I have to say, his match with Cena at WrestleMania 23, that was also an amazing match as well between HBK and Shawn. So, HBK and John, my bad. I said HBK and Shawn. Like, he wrestled himself. If he wrestled himself, it probably would have been a damn good match too. But regardless, I think Shawn Michaels is fantastic, and yeah, absolutely great. Anime. John Cena is, I mean, Love, you're going to do John Cena before you switch to Undertaker. So if you want to talk about Cena, you definitely can do that. John Cena, to me, can definitely go down as one of the greats to ever do this, obviously.
Well, I think John Cena is the greatest human to ever walk. So I mean,
well, there's that too.
But as far as best wrestlers of all time, I think a lot of people don't give John that credit only because his move set isn't the most dynamic. He has the 5 moves of doom, you know, when he does the shoulder blocks and you know he starts dancing around, you know what's about to happen. But I think John Cena is more of a presence thing. Like I said about Undertaker, I think Cena is just the biggest draw you can ever have, you know, like even when he came back at SummerSlam, that was just a huge moment because the last time we really saw Cena, the crowd was booing him out of the building. And then when he came out and when Phil called me and I was freaking sobbing my eyes out, everyone in the crowd was losing their mind, you know. I think that's just an amazing moment of like wrestling period, you know what I'm saying? So I think my thing with Cena is just the fact that he has the ultimate feel of just like what a professional wrestler is. You know, if you look up professional wrestler in the dictionary, I feel like John Cena comes up, and not really just off of anything else besides just him being what he is inside and outside of the ring. You know what I'm saying? I think that he has one of the best promos of all time. I think some of the best promos in WWE history have come from Cena. He has done a few questionable things, like taking that championship away from Rey Mysterio like 20 minutes after he won it, burying Nexus. The whole Super Cena run that can be debated. I think it was good and bad for its time. There's a lot of things about Cena that I don't really have the biggest like for, but he's always been one of my favorite wrestlers just off of him being who he is. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's one of the only wrestlers in the history of WWE that's just been 100% real. You know what I'm saying? Like there never was an aspect of time where he was just like fake to us. You know, even when the crowd would boo him out the building, he still came out there and did what he had to do, and he embraced the boos sometimes, and sometimes he didn't. But if you want to put John Cena as your greatest of all time, I don't think there's any way anyone can dispute that. He is definitely. If Undertaker's my number one, Cena is probably my number two, honestly. Yeah.
There's a reason why he was called like one of the most polarizing figures in the business of professional wrestling. I mean, like you said, whether he was cheered or booed, he was there, and he was gonna do whatever he can to, figure out what could be the best course of action for his professional wrestling career and figure out what's the best way he can go about things. So polarizing is probably an understatement, but it worked for him, especially during his time when he was active. What's up, Saul? Hey, how are you?
We love talking about. Oh, did I just miss talking about John Cena, one of the goats too?
No, hey, we're still there. We're still talking about him. So if you want to say anything, you can.
Oh boy, we're talking about Cena. Alrighty, so what do I? Oh boy, what is there to say about this man? What is there to say, honestly? Like everything about this man. All right, can I tell you that, Loff? You're gonna have to hear this, bro. Yeah, John Cena is my childhood hero too. Like, yeah, Eddie Guerrero's my favorite wrestler of all time, but John Cena's my childhood hero. That man has it all. The man, like, Cena does deserve a lot of the credit that he's to this day, like, honestly. And Cena's one of the reasons why I still watch WWE, actually. and it's just his character. He like I said, Cena's character. It's good. It's good. I enjoyed Cena when I was like during Ruthless era. Like Cena was fantastic, like on the mic and everything when he did Thugonomics and everything, bro. I'm telling you right now that it was the best thing ever. And then he had these feuds with like The Rock or like Kurt Angle or like you can list anybody on there, and he put effort in his work. And Cena definitely deserves the credit of what he's done for this business. And he said to AJ Styles, he's held this place over than a decade, while every single one of them were gone. Like Taker was gone, like Austin was gone, Rock was gone. You name it. Like Cena running this place now. Like I said, there's nothing really much. There's not. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to say, but I can't list it all. Like Cena's on the top 5 for sure, and he's also on the Mountain Rushmore of WWE, 100%.
Man. 100%. Yeah, guys, this is fun. I don't know if you want to talk about any other people. Going forward.
We got another one. How about this one? Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle's one of the greats.
He's one of the greats. And I'll explain that. Too. One of them, yeah, absolutely. Kurt Angle is another man that is another person that he could lace up a pair of boots and go at it in the ring. Like this man went from the Olympics to the WWE. This man won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. And like the man had, like Kurt Angle had it all. Kurt Angle had it all. He was entertaining. The ring skills fantastic. One of the best technical wrestlers of all time. Kurt Angle is by far one of the best, and like he put on the top notch matches with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Kane, freaking like Eddie Guerrero and like Rey Mysterio, and like I can go on and on about who he topped it up. Like Kurt Angle's by far one of the best I've ever seen. By far one of the best I've ever seen since I've been on this earth. But I feel like Kurt is also like that type of dude. Also, let me tell you something about another thing about Kurt Angle. When he takes off them straps, bro, it's over. It's over. When he does like German suplexes or whatever, or does an angle slam, takes off the straps, it's done. You are done. And also, I will tell you also a thing when it comes to technical wrestling, you cannot out wrestle this man. You can't. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. He will twist you into a pretzel. And also, just seeing his work in WWE was good, but my God, was he unstoppable in Impact, TNA. Like, that man did a lot of stuff that I didn't see in WWE. Like, some stuff. Like, like Kurt's one of the best. Anybody?
Oh, no. I mean, talk about somebody who was just a pure athlete and brought on during a time when the WWE was trying to add some legitimate athletes to their roster to kind of, go into a more reality type, era. Talk about somebody who was just incredibly gifted and could change from being, people who love the Kurt Angle of like TNA might not know back in the day when he was like wearing a little cowboy hat and singing goofy songs and giving people, milk baths and stuff like that, So just the fact that he was able to transcend his character so polar opposite is just incredible. And, and not only that, but like just the matches that he would have is incredible. Definitely somebody who was very gifted and could put on bangers with anybody.
Love, any thoughts on Kurt Angle?
Cena Kurt Angle is the best version of him.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Phil, come on.
Hey,
come on, Phil.
I can't disagree with that. I love TNA Kurt Angle.
Come on, Phil. What do you got about Kurt?
Kurt's great, man. Like Anthony said, pure athlete, man. Just came into the business, absolutely killing it. Like you said, so the straps down. He's done. Like you're done. Yeah, man. Kurt Angle's great.
Also, when he straps the ankle lock, bro, there's no way out. There's no way out. You're done. I've done it before. I've done the ankle lock. Trust me, you can't get out. There's absolutely no way.
Trust me, man. It is brutal. It is brutal. Somebody said that somebody gotta mention Edge, and Edge is fantastic. You can't not mention Edge when it at least comes to this kind of conversation. Edge is a great promo, amazing promo. The guy can literally gravitate towards you just with the microphone alone. Spears are a little overdone nowadays, but I think when you hear the word spear in professional wrestling, does everybody think Edge, or do you think of somebody else?
I think of Edge.
I bring him to the table, but out of everybody that has done the spear, and don't get me wrong, everybody knows Edge is my favorite superstar of all time. One of the best promos, one of the biggest heels of the Ruthless Aggression era, best entrance, one of the best looks. I will sit here and say he has one of the worst spears of all time.
Wow.
Okay.
And just the reason why is because when you compare him to guys like Rhino, to guys like Bobby Lashley, even Goldberg, they look effective. His looks like it can be devastating, but it looks like he's just giving you a hug and putting you down. All I'm saying, don't get me wrong, he's got a great moveset. And I love watching.
You're honestly not wrong. You're honestly not wrong.
Not the best out of anybody else. I think that's the one thing holding him back.
I hate Goldberg, but Goldberg has a better spear than Edge. Yes.
I ain't gonna lie.
Dive into it. Whereas with him, it looks like he's just falling into him, and it doesn't look as effective. It just compared to everybody else, I think he can make it look good, but just
look at Roman's. Look at Roman's spear.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Josh. Ooh. Oh boy.
Listen, we'll get to Eddie. We'll let him have his spiel on Eddie. But wow, man, Edge, he's great, right? I mean, there's nothing about him that I don't think really anybody can dispute about. His mic skills are great. His in-ring skills, they're good. They're really good, and obviously his his lineage for resume for championships and everything speak about himself. But Edge is fantastic, man. I don't think I could really argue if anybody said Edge.
Yeah, honestly, Edge is great. And also, can I ask you one thing, Anthony? Did you prefer the execution over the spear?
I mean, growing up, I loved the spear as a kid. I thought it was a great move, and I enjoyed it. But just looking at it, yeah, I think I'd rather prefer him do that because at least now, everybody else does a spear. You know, you have like other superstars doing it. So like when comparing it to other people, it's not going to look as good. So like set them apart. But I think right now I'd prefer him to do a different move. But you know,
What you got, Loft? What you think about Edge?
On this day, he sees clearly. That's what it is. I'm just playing.
Edge has the best theme song. in
no
WWE.
doubt.
Metalingus is the best theme song of all time to me. Yes.
Edge has there's no I can't. You can throw in a Cena or in a Jeff. Edge has the best theme song in WWE history. I think he should have done they used to call it the execution and like what was it called, like the Edge-O-Matic.
Yeah, that's what I just said. The execution. Yeah.
There was an Edge-O-Matic.
Yeah.
There was an Edge-O-Matic. I don't know what maneuver that was, but he did have an Edge-O-Matic.
He did it he did it at Rumble, I think. I can't remember.
Probably. He pulls out these all these kind of like punny like move sets about him. Whenever he wants. But
if I remember right, the Edge-O-Matic is where he comes up from behind them, grabs their neck, and then pulls them down.
Oh yeah, he pulls them down. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The execution is just like an impaler DDT kind of thing, and then
Pretty much,
obviously the spear.
Somebody brought him in the comments section, and this was somebody that I debated on picking. You can't talk about Mount Rushmore or the GOAT without talking about Stone Cold.
Oh, absolutely.
Stone Cold's
Absolutely.
great, yeah.
Come on, let me
100%.
tell you that. Stone Cold Steve Austin is by far one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, too. Like, that man's character by far will never be touched. You cannot compare anybody to Stone Cold Steve Austin whatsoever. Nobody's compared to that man. That man's character is off limits. Like, he will cut that. Like, when he cut that 316 promo, you knew instantly that this is going to be a new breed of this wrestler. Like, and especially the Stone Cold Stunner. Come on, who does not love the Stunner? Everybody does. Everybody likes to have a Stunner. And then who doesn't love fighting with their boss? Like, who does that? Like, nobody in this world has ever done that. If it wasn't for Stone Cold, not a lot of people would have beaten up Vince McMahon. I will tell you that. But yeah, Stone Cold is he's that anti-hero. Like, you can, like, no matter if he was a heel or no matter if he was a babyface, you couldn't boo that man because that man's character was like super over. Like, you could not. And like, he was in good feuds with like The Rock, Bret Hart, like Undertaker, and like Triple H, and like all these people. And like, Stone Cold has it all. Like, he is by far one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And like, a lot of people in this era will declare Stone Cold as one of the best too. Like, people that are wrestling right now.
I mean, talk about a guy that moved mountains in terms of the biggest ticket sales, the biggest merchandise that the company had ever seen at that time, and probably still hasn't reached heights of. A guy that, came into an era of nobody really believing in wrestling and really catapulting it into heights they had never seen, all just due to the fact that he gave them something to believe in, which was relatability. Because, like, you look at a guy like Hulk Hogan and you see, like, a big, muscular, tall, like, larger-than-life character, but then here's a guy fighting his boss, and, like, I hate my boss, and I wish I could do that. And so you have somebody that you can live through. And that's really what I think is missing in pro wrestling nowadays, is just believing in somebody and not having a character, and I think Stone Cold is definitely one of the best characters of all time. So, not to mention, one of the best wrestlers of that period, and that wasn't even like his best. Like, he had come off an injury at that point, so he wasn't even at his wrestling ability at that point. So, definitely somebody that will never be replicated ever again.
Also, his feud with Vince McMahon by far will probably one of be the best rivalries of all time, no matter where you are, honestly.
I think it'll go down as one of the best storylines of all time.
Up there with Shawn and Brett, up there with Hogan and Andre, like you by far. Yeah.
They really could do no wrong at that point. Like, I mean, that feud had Vince McMahon win the Royal Rumble, and no one talked crap on it. When you can make Vince McMahon win the Royal Rumble and nobody be mad at it because of the storyline, that's a good storyline.
Oh, yeah. That was good, right?
They could not do that with Roman today. If
they did, my God, they would have got away with so much stuff.
You know what I mean? I think that's the funniest thing in terms of like believability is you have this villain in Vince McMahon who's trying to do all this stuff against Stone Cold, and people are behind Stone Cold so much to where they don't even care that Vince is doing this stuff.
Sometimes we just wish Stone Cold run this company than Vince.
I mean, he technically did for a little bit.
He can do that.
Yeah,
he can do
did,
that.
Yeah.
Stone Cold, that's it. You know what? If Vince is watching, Austin needs to take over the company.
He definitely did already. So I mean,
yeah, he was part of that storyline where he like ran the.
Yeah, now we need him back. We need him back to run this place. I guarantee you, it's gonna be great. And also, he's gonna put. I hope he puts Paul Heyman in charge of the writing.
Oh, that entire ideal in itself, that was just messed up to begin with. But Stone Cold, great. Awesome. I mean, it's just an anti-hero as always. So, Stone Cold, amazing.
Austin, 316.
Stone Cold was overrated. Rock was better. Thank you.
What the fuck?
We can talk about The Rock now if you wanna.
Dwayne.
Stone Cold is overrated. Rock is better.
How dare you?
I will say this. The Rock's finishers, overrated.
Thank you.
Yeah, the people's elbow was protected.
People's elbow was whack.
People's elbow was a joke between the boys that fans just got too behind, and no, it's just an elbow.
Can I tell you? No, Austin is better than Rock. I get you promo-wise. Yes, I understand.
Promo-wise and character-wise, I think he was a good, antithesis to Stone Cold, but you really can't compare in either one. They either one could be the GOAT.
Oof, our chat didn't like that. They're just gonna spam tomatoes now. Ooh, because I think they prefer Austin over Dwayne. I mean, there's no argument whatsoever because they're both great.
Well, your GOAT is your GOAT. So
exactly,
whoever you have,
yeah, they're both great. Austin and Rock are both great, and
yeah. People are not really liking it right now, but well, if that's your opinion, we're just here to respect it, and yeah. So,
oh wow, they really did not like that. But then again, Stone Cold is like God to everybody in the wrestling community.
Pretty much, yes.
So,
but yeah,
I want to have a beer with Stone Cold right now. I'm just playing.
But I mean, can we just talk about The Rock and the fact that, he just transcended what a professional wrestler could be, though, in terms of like outside ventures.
And the thing is, he wasn't even around for that long.
He really wasn't. He was around from 96, I believe, like 95-ish.
Yeah, you're right.
Give or take, yeah.
To about 2002?
4.
Okay. But I think he take time off to go do Scorpion King around that point.
2002, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But still, that's not a long career. And the fact that he made such a big impact within a couple of years, it just really shows the kind of character that they put forth, when people think of professional wrestling, they think The Rock is going to definitely be one of them.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? Come to think, I already told this on the podcast once. I only knew The Rock as an actor before I knew he was a wrestler. For real. I only knew him as an actor. Like The Rock, I was like, "Who's this guy?" And I was like, "Oh, he was a wrestler." I was like, "Oh, I better look this guy up." And then all of a sudden, he was a wrestler. I was like, "Oh, he's actually one of the best."
When I started in 2010, and then all of a sudden, the whole once in a lifetime shtick, I was like, oh great, The Rock is The Rock is here. Well, what the heck is going on? At that point, I really only technically knew him as an actor, but obviously when things, you kind of figure out things. You kind of, watch the product more. I figured out, holy crap, this guy was a legit wrestler, and he was there from '94 it says here from '96 to 2004 in his first stint of the company. So yeah, I was like, well, geez, okay, professional wrestler, who knew? And then obviously the twice in a lifetime kind of thing happened, and it was kind of, we're good from there. But yeah, the Rock's great. Promo, absolutely fantastic. His concerts alone are just god dang legendary. But yeah, the Rock, 100%. One of the greatest to ever do it. For sure.
Alrighty. We can't. All right. How about this? We can't. With the Rock. We can't deny he put on some good matches too. He put on some good matches with Triple H, Austin, and like pretty much. I feel like those are the most. I feel like those are the most rivalries I've watched out of Rock in WWE. Like Austin and Triple H. I feel like those are his top two rivals of all time. Like well, I wouldn't say that, but also he has some good matches with Mick Foley. Mankind, sorry, my bad, wrong person. Mankind was the I Quit match was insane. Like I really thought he really legit said I quit. I really thought Mankind really said I quit in that match for real. When I was watching, I was like, did he really say I quit? And I was like, oh, it was audio. The Rock, good. Yeah, The Rock is great. He's Rock, Austin, like, yeah. But how about this? I know he's not but he was great. RVD. I need help. I need help with that. Somebody, please. Somebody.
I wouldn't say he's the greatest of all time, but
decent.
I don't know if I can put him as one of the greatest of all time. I think just due to booking, in my opinion, they've never booked him to be a top guy. And don't get me wrong, I think that he's a great performer, but like, there's not really any legendary like promos that he gave that I can remember.
It's not really that. He wasn't really a mic guy. He was more like for the ring.
But for me to consider somebody to be part of the GOAT, like, I mean, I have to be able to I have to like their promo game too, or it doesn't have to be like incredible, but it has to draw me in. And he just always had like the the stoner type stuff, and I wasn't really like a fan of that. I think he's a great performer. And I think he's a great in-ring competitor, but I don't know if I can see him as like one of the greatest of all time.
I said he's decent. I know he's not great, but RVD, I was like,
to be completely honest, I wasn't even really technically involved in the world of professional wrestling while he was technically really all that active.
Guilty.
Like I said, I started wrestling in 2000. I didn't start wrestling in 2010, but I started watching it, and the first comeback I remember was when he was in that Money in the Bank ladder match, and I don't even remember that year.
2013.
He was in. So 13. Yeah. So that was. I mean, that wasn't technically the first time I've seen him, but like the first time I can totally technically remember from all those years ago. So I
think that Rob Van Dam could have been one of the greatest of all time, and could have been up way higher because I remember him being a big star during the WWF versus Alliance storyline. He was one of the biggest breakout stars to come out of that. But unfortunately, it was due to his whole interactions with Triple H in the World Championship scene that I think kind of really ruined a lot of his momentum. And like I said, just creative, not giving him good enough promos. Like, he actually can talk, and he's very eloquent with the way he actually normally speaks. But You know, I just feel like they weren't giving him enough material to really,
Good IC champion.
you know, I think he's a great mid-carder,
Yeah.
but they never gave him a real good chance at the main event to really catapult him to that next level.
Honestly, anime, same thing with Booker T. I really wouldn't. He was decent too. Like Booker T was decent. He was fantastic in the ring. I've seen him put on a good match with a lot of people, with some certain people in the mid card scene. Like Booker T was good too. I wouldn't put him on the greatest, but he was decent.
And once again, another person that I feel could have gone to that next level had it not been for the hindering of somebody like a Triple H, you know, because talk about a guy who had a great story going into WrestleMania 19 with the fact of him coming from a criminal background and doing a rags to riches kind of storyline to where now he's going for the greatest title in this particular wrestling company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he totally squandered that. And I think had he won that title, I think he definitely would be talked at in a different manner.
Oh yeah. And also, I can't go. When he was on my screen, I was waiting for him to do the spinner already every time he hit the scissors kick or anything like that. I was ready for the spinner already. I was like, yeah, Booker. I'm like,
Yeah.
I love 5-time world champion. He is a 5-time world champion.
I mean,
6-time actually.
Down.
I mean, I watched wrestling. I started watching wrestling when SmackDown had him as King Booker, and talking about one of the greatest iterations of Booker T that I had seen. Like I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was saying, if it wasn't for that King Booker gimmick, I feel like that he would still be stuck at the mid card scene, most likely. Like if he hadn't won King of the Ring and hadn't challenged Rey Mysterio or whatever the heck, like I said, he would be stuck in the mid card. He would stuck as United States champion or Intercontinental champion or like anything like that. But his world title reign was actually not that bad as far as I'm concerned. It really wasn't. It was okay. It was, I wouldn't say it was one of the best, but it was pretty decent because I remembered it, and I always remembered. I was also mad because he took it off Ray. I was really mad at that time because I loved Ray back then. And yeah, but what about? I'm looking at the comments. What about Jericho? Jericho's great.
I saw that comment and I was thinking like, okay, Jericho. That definitely would be in my opinion somebody who could be considered the greatest of all time because
30 years.
I mean, definitely somebody who's had a long career and has been able to reinvent himself many times.
Oh my God, yes.
And they're all memorable for the most part. I mean, this is a guy that could get specific words over. That's how like big he is.
He got the click of a pen over.
Yeah, no, he got a freaking clipboard over. What do you mean? He got a clipboard.
Well, as soon as you clicked the pen, you knew what was gonna happen. So all that kind of came to fruition.
Get out of 2016. I don't know. The man on the mic. Oh my God, bro.
Hold up.
Uh-oh.
Who just said that?
What's up?
Well, let me go back and just check. I just saw a name, and if you want to do it, wait, hold on.
We're talking about Y2J right now, but like,
hold on 1 second.
Wait, who are we talking about? Oh, we talking about your father? We're talking about Pops? We're talking about Hardy? We're talking about Pops? Uh-oh.
No, he's looking in the chat to find it.
No, I'm looking at it. I think Aiden said it. He's looking for Pops.
Aiden said it.
Pops.
Y'all finish your conversation.
He's talking about Dad. He's talking about his Pops. He's talking about his Pops. Uh-oh.
Go ahead,
Bob.
Bob.
That's all you. Go ahead, Bob. That's all you, boy. That's all you.
2 hours to talk about the greatest wrestler to ever walk. No,
that's what I'm saying. We'll let you speak. Let's go. Let's go.
Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead, man. You know it.
Let me tell you something about Jeffrey Nero Hardy. You feel me?
Uh-oh. Oh, we went for his
entire name, y'all. He's his entire name.
About the joke, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna meet him in like 2 months.
Oh, true.
I'm gonna cry. This is one of the first time I'm gonna see another grown man and cry, and I have no shame about it. I could not give a damn. I'm gonna tell you
what
right
am
now.
I to you, chopped liver? Damn. Believe me, I'm gonna cry.
I'm your brother, bro.
I've never cried from seeing another man.
Hey,
I just haven't, and I know I'm going to break down in tears when I see Jeff in real life.
No, I would too. I would too, honestly. So
I would break down if I was not seeing in real life. I would break down.
I think I said this before. If you were around in the 2007 to 2009 era, this man was the most famous man on earth. Point blank. Period. I don't care what anyone has to say about a president, a damn rapper. I don't. Jeff Hardy was that for. I think his peak was 2008, since he ended up leaving 2009. But I think it was like the end of 2009 he left. But 2008, Jeff Hardy was. He could have ran for president.
Oh my God, here we go again.
He could have like done anything that man wanted to do. He could have done it, and the people were behind it because I think he still is one of the most over wrestlers, even at his age. No matter where he goes, he always gets a pop. When he left WWE and then came to TNA, and freaking
Immortal Jeff Hardy.
Oh my God! The thing that always threw me off was that I say this so much. TNA had him as a main event star for like 95% of his time in TNA. And I'm talking about like 2004 Jeff Hardy when he first went to TNA when he was doing match with AJ and then left and then came back. He was still a man. Oh shoot, he was still a main event superstar. Whereas a heel face, he was always in the main event storylines. You know what I'm saying? And if he wasn't, he was in the tag team. He's doing tag team stuff. He was always a marquee person on the show. And when you have someone like if you have someone who freaking outsold John Cena in merch, that right there I think should have pushed him way higher than he already got.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
Maybe I think three people outsold Cena. It was Hardy,
especially
Hardy,
during that time.
Punk, CM Punk did, and Roman.
That's a crazy list. That's three amazing freaking talents right there.
Yeah.
So just
I would definitely agree. I think that I remember when Jeff did win the WWE title. It's funny too, because like I'm very big into like the emo and like scene community, and I can't tell you how many people in that community, like the people that go to Hot Topic, they all know who Jeff Hardy is. Like he's that iconic in that community. You know what I mean? And just I mean, Jeff is one of those people that is definitely very, very popular with the fans and somebody that's really put his body on the line for, like, you know, what he considers his art, you know, and it's definitely the people's champ of this era, somebody that the fans have always been behind, like 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I really think they should have given him a storyline angle with Roman Reigns. Obviously, circumstances didn't go the way.
And we were actually supposed to get one. We were.
You know, and I was waiting so long for that because we were almost there, and they kept taking it from me. I was telling them what I wanted, and they refused to give it to me, and then ended up.
Give me what I want.
Give me what I want.
I'm waiting, and I just never got it. You know, and I remember when Jeff won the World Heavyweight Championship, and I feel like I was scared then because it didn't feel like when he won the WWE Championship. It just felt like it felt different, but he was still the top champion. So I think he really got some really good matches out of it. I think his feud with CM Punk is one of the best feuds in history. I think that's just a pure good guy versus bad guy, with the bad guy obviously eventually winning. But just I would love to if Jeff ends up going to AEW, even though I don't want him to go there. If he ends up going there, if they revisit Jeff and Punk just once, just make the child in me happy one more time. They don't even have to have a match. If they just acknowledge the fact that they were intertwined at a point, I'm going to scream. That's all I ask. If he ends up going to AEW, I know he's probably gonna do tag team stuff, but just have Jeff and Punk interact just once.
Jeff versus Darby Allin. Let me see that. Jeff versus Darby.
I just don't want them to kill each other if that's going to be a match.
Jeff versus Darby?
Don't kill each other.
Who, Jeff versus Darby?
Jeff versus Darby is going to be great, but I just don't want anybody to die.
No promises with that because you know those two are daredevils. Like, those two are just... Go ahead, man.
I think I got one better, though, than Darby. I would personally, in a ladder match, just based off of what I saw recently.
Oh shit!
I would love to see Sammy Guevara and Jeff Hardy.
Sammy and Jeff would be great.
That is beautiful. That's
Hang on. Aiden says
That
this.
springboard cutter, beautiful. I'm sorry, but
And the
What
swanton
is
on the letter.
Everyone's
That's what-
female goat.
well, that swanton, that ladder had no give, so he kind of got
Whiplash
the worst off of that
terrible.
one. But
Aiden, just to answer your question, we're going to talk about the females next week.
next week, yes.
Yes. I feel like Trish is going to be the number one out of anybody's mouth, honestly. I feel like
Well, the
Trish.
thing is, just like we picked
Oh my.
here, we have to pick one person and one person only, and then after everybody talks their talk, then we can just go on to anybody that we want to talk about.
Good thing
But
you guys saved the women. Good thing you guys saved the women because we both won. Good thing you guys saved the women.
Yeah, that's
honestly.
next week. That's next week.
Yeah,
Thank
that's next
God.
week.
I was going to tell you. But Josh wanted to talk about a personal favorite of mine earlier.
I saw the
boy.
Eddie Guerrero stuff, so you go on ahead.
boy. Oh,
Go on
boy.
ahead.
What do you want to know, Josh? What do you want to know? What do you want to know about Eddie
I think
Guerrero?
we all know about Eddie Guerrero and his legacy here in the company.
What do you
but
want to know? There's so much.
that's all you, man. That's all you.
Yeah. Oh boy.
We'll
what do you want to
we'll
know?
bounce
I want to
back
know
off
in
you.
the chat. What do y'all want to know about Mr. Lie, Cheat, and Steal? Are y'all addicted to the heat enough to know about Eddie? Are y'all addicted to the heat to know enough? I'm just playing.
We'll bounce back off you, man. Just talk your talk. We'll go with you. We'll go with you.
Alrighty, so as like I said, Eddie is fantastic. Eddie, like there's so much I can describe this man. Eddie's journey as a wrestler was by far one of the best journeys I've seen in a wrestler's career. This man grew up in a wrestling family. Like his whole family was wrestlers. His dad was a wrestler. His brothers were wrestlers, and he wanted to be a wrestler. He wanted to carry on the legacy. I think he's a second generation of a wrestler, I believe. I don't remember. I have to look back. But this man carried on. He was wrestling around the world. He was wrestling in Japan. He was wrestling in Mexico, Canada, like you name it. Like this man put it on decent matches with anybody, and he went to the WCW. This man put on decent matches with Dean Malenko, freaking Chris Jericho. You can't talk about the feud he had with Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, and like all the other everybody in the cruiserweight division in WCW. And then he went to WWE. On WWE, he was fantastic. He was able to work with anybody and switch his style up. And when it comes to wrestling, he can do technical. He could be a brawler. He could be anything that you wanted to be. Also, his mic skills, fantastic. His mic skills are magnificent. Like you can forget about it. And also the frog splash, by far my favorite frog splash of all time. I don't care what anybody says. My opinion. If you don't like it,
We're
get
not
lost.
going to get into a debate on a frog splash because we all know that happened
Yes, the
before.
hell we are. No, I'm playing.
But and also and like his characters like you go to Latino Heat with China, that one was fantastic, and he had and he had some decent title reigns. He had a good title reign with the Intercontinental Champion, the United States Champion. I think it was the European Champion one time. I don't remember, but the tag team division too. My God, Eddie worked the tag team division fantastic, and also when SmackDown was fantastic during the Ruthless time. Like that, I think it was people that you put in the tag team division, and it worked perfectly. You had Eddie Guerrero, you had the Los Guerreros, you had freaking Kurt Angle and Team Angle, and you had like Edge and Rey Mysterio team up together, and you had like Tajiri and like Rhino or whatever teaming up together. Like that was fantastic, right? And like Eddie put on these decent matches with everybody, and also you can't leave out when he did the lie, cheat, and steal with everybody in the ring. Like he threw the title. He's like, here, take this. Falls to the floor, and like literally, they're like, "What the heck just happened?" And the ref gets up, like he's like, "What just happened? Like, did you just hit him with the?" And they ring the bell and stuff like that. And I loved it. I love it to death. And like, there is so much that I love about this man that I can't explain too much enough about him. That I admire him so much. I admire his work. I admire him as a
No Mercy 04.
Oh my God! And when he won the WWE champion, boy, was I!
Those are some of the most passionate
I still
promos
get
I've ever
emotional.
seen in the world of professional wrestling. Period.
I still get emotional.
So passionate about it.
To this day, to this very day, I still sometimes get emotional every time he wins that belt. Every time he hits a 1-2, every time he hits that frog splash, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. I my eyes boil up sometimes. And then also another thing, they had another feud with Rey Mysterio. We can't talk about his feud with Rey Mysterio. Like his feud with before the whole Dominic thing, his whole feud with Rey was by far fantastic. Probably one of my favorite feuds out of anybody that he feuded. And then also you can't talk about his feud with JBL and his match with him in Judgment Day. My God, did they beat the shit out of each other in that match? That match was brutal. And and also before he passed, he had a good match with Batista. He had a very good match. And this man had so much to do.
I think
and
Eddie
also,
was the one to put Batista down.
Oh yeah, 100%. That man, as far as I'm concerned, in that match against Batista, that man kicked his ass, like legit. And Batista will probably tell you that himself. He kicked his ass.
Batista is down. He'll always be down.
And also when he, I think in the match also when he hit that frog splash on his back, I thought he was done too. I thought he was going to win the World Heavyweight Champion for real. And I was like, Eddie's going to look good in that big gold belt. And I was ready for him and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania and everything until, that happened. And like I said, there's so much about Eddie that there's so much that you can talk about this man. And there are some wrestlers out there that are influenced to be a wrestler like Sasha, and you got Dominic in the ring, and you got freaking you have other people that admire that man and they're encouraging him. He actually admires me to be a wrestler. I want to be a wrestler eventually, and that man influenced me to be a wrestler. And there's so much about Eddie.
100%, man. 100%.
Yeah, definitely agree. One of the greatest characters, despite whether you despised him when he was a heel or whether whether you were laughing at him when he was stealing Ric Flair's wallet at the Royal Rumble, created a lot of great comedic moments. In my opinion, one of the best title wins of all time at No Way Out, WWE Championship. Definitely, in my opinion, the biggest Latin star that the WWE has ever produced.
Oh yeah,
and has never been able to replicate it, despite many times trying. Definitely somebody who, people gravitated towards. I mean, here you have a guy cheating to win, and yet they still cheer the heck out of him for it.
And it's great.
There's a lot about his character, and the stuff with Chyna was incredible. At the later end of her career, and having the best chemistry out of anybody was just incredible. So yeah, definitely, he's a GOAT for many reasons.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero will forever be my favorite wrestler of all time, and he deserves a lot of credit. He deserves half credit in professional wrestling, I believe so.
Yeah, and Eddie's actually part of my very first wrestling moments. I remember back in 2004, I believe. I was just scrolling through channels before I even became a wrestling fan, and I happened to stumble upon the I think it was the Eddie Guerrero and John Cena street fight that they had.
That street fight was vicious. Probably one of my best brawls ever. Honestly, one of the best parking lot brawls. And you know what? I feel like after that happened, I feel like there was no parking lot brawls ever after that.
At least not
the last time we saw a parking lot brawl was in 2009, I believe, with JBL and Cena. That was the last time. We haven't seen a parking lot brawl in years. But Eddie was a very good wrestler and a very good human being too. He was a really good human being. And honestly, if I met him too, friggin' same thing with Loff. You would see a grown man cry for real, no cap. If he was here to this day, you would see me cry to tears. And I want to grab it. I have his shirt. I wear his shirt. That's my favorite shirt ever. I bought that shirt maybe probably 2 months ago, and That's my favorite shirt of all time. I sometimes I want to be like, I want to wear that every day.
Yeah.
And then I also want to get I actually want to get the custom belt. I want to get really soon. I hope eventually. I want to get the custom belt, and that's how much I admire that man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You know what? I don't think there's any other special place to end it than just with Eddie Guerrero. We've talked about a ton of superstars today. And there's listen, if we didn't get to yours, we apologize. But at the end of the day, Loft, guys, we're doing the women next week. But
You guys have fun with that.
this could definitely be like some type of Tuesday's Talk is already a series in itself, but talking about some of the greats in professional wrestling, that in itself can be something that we can go back to always when it comes to Tuesday's Talk. And I don't think anybody would even bat an eye to talk about somebody or just to talk about some of the greats who ever do it. So I think this could definitely be come back to at some point down the line for sure. Good job, Law, for thinking of this. This is fun. I like this.
Yeah.
Creative.
Thanks for doing a
All
great
right,
one.
this is what I'm going to tell you right now. We are taking over. OTB is taking over WWE. That's it. I want to tell you that right now. We're taking over
Well,
WWE.
I mean, come on now. Listen, you already got PK in the works. And listen, I'm going to Dynamite the 23rd. I'm going to meet my man Tony. I'm going to meet my man TK. I'm going to meet my man meet my girl Dr. Britt Baker DMD. Listen, Adam Cole's he's probably gonna Canadian Destroyer my ass, but you know what? I don't care. I'll take a Canadian Destroyer from him any day of the week. I die, but listen, there are some things right there. You know, at the end of the day, if I got to meet Britt, Canadian Destroyer, I'll take it.
Yeah, if you meet Britt, you better tell her to shout out. You better tell her to shout out this podcast.
That's if there's a meet and greet. If there's a meet and greet, I'm definitely going, and I'm gonna talk to Britt Baker, and there's no if or ands or buts about it. But
I feel like he's gonna be freaking out. I feel like he's gonna be like one of those fanboys or something. Like he met like Michael Jackson or something.
Listen, bro. Listen. Britt Baker's one to mark out about. Okay. I saw a dog earlier on TikTok on the ESPN YouTube channel that was marking out about Britt Baker. Okay, so if a dog can mark out, if a dog can mark out, I can mark out too. Okay, I don't know if it was exactly the ESPN TikTok, but there was a TikTok, and I can honestly send it to you guys about a dog legitimately marking out for Britt Baker. It was fantastic.
OTB will be the new creative team for WWE. Yeah, that most likely we are taking over that right now.
I think Anthony just looked it up.
That one?
Yeah, see? Yes, it is.
Oh.
So look at him. He's so happy. He wants to get on the TV screen.
He wants the doctor. Well,
was
Phil.
it the ESPN account?
I know she's a dentist, but take her over. Take her over to that. Take her over.
That was on AEW's.
It was on the AEW's TikTok. Okay.
Imagine Britt meets that dog. Imagine Britt meets that dog. She sees that video and she's like, "Oh my god!" And then all of a sudden she meets that dog.
And listen, I know this guy is not watching right now, but Wasted, is a part of the TikTok community. I understand you love Britt Baker too. We can work together, my man. There doesn't have to be heat or rivalry between us about us loving Britt Baker. We can work together. I love Britt Baker. I know you love Britt Baker too. This could be a good bonding moment for us. Britt Baker is great, so let's not totally get some heat on ourselves. I don't know where the heck that came from, but I know Wasted loves Britt Baker too. So
everybody loves Britt. It's DMD. Come on, man.
Listen, DMD is fantastic. But in all honesty, guys, I honestly think this could honestly keep going back to if we ever did just not have a topic for that week or whatever. But next week we are definitely doing the women. 2 weeks from now, I got a very special guest that's going to be coming on the podcast. and we'll definitely meet him when the time is right. But yeah, guys, this is fun. I absolutely love it. I want to thank all of you guys for joining us. Saul, thank you so much for coming on in just for a little bit that you did.
I just had a little bit. I just had to a little bit because you guys were talking about
That's
adults. And just a little bit. And like I said, I'm not back fully. I just had to come in just to talk about who the greatest of all time was. And now I will tell you that it's HBK. Laugh.
No worries, man. No worries. We're glad that you came on over here just for the little bit that you did. Anthony, it's always a pleasure talking to you, man. It's great seeing you grow on TikTok, and you're just absolutely killing it right now. So good job on you. Deron, you're an absolutely amazing dude. I can't thank you enough for supporting OTB since the very beginning. Your TikToks are great. I actually been looking at your TikToks for a little bit now, and you continue to grow every single day. So you're absolutely killing it. Continue to kill it, and hopefully we can have you on here once again. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for this topic. It was a lot of fun. I don't know, we're going to be doing the women next week, but 2 weeks from now, we got a special guest, and I can't wait for everybody to meet him.
Is it Roman Reigns?
Is it John Cena?
Sadly not.
Is it John Cena?
And no, it's not that other professional wrestler that did mention me on her story. It's not her. I'm gonna try my damn hardest though. Is it Thunder Rosa? I'm trying so hard to talk to Thunder Rosa right now. It's not even funny. She did actually post me on her story a couple of days ago. Anthony, it was very insane. I went to an independent like the NEW event that happened a couple of weeks ago or so, and I saw her match with Eva Louise, and I just mentioned her and everything, talking about it, and she reposted my part of the story on her story, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so good. And then she actually sent me like 3 heart emojis in a DM. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually do this. But trust me, if we ever got Thunder Rosa onto the podcast, I'd be blown away. Like, she's absolutely amazing on what she does, and I can't not praise her for what she's done for professional wrestling. So I can't believe it, guys, but that was an amazing moment, and we'll continue to, try our best as we maybe get somebody on the podcast that is as a professional wrestler. Maybe one day soon.
Carlito?
But,
I'm just fine.
Carlito? Oh my God. If we had the man that spit apples in everyone's face just because he's cool, that would be fantastic.
If that man does that, I will take it. I'll be like, he does that to me. Not like that.
Well, listen, somebody told me on my TikTok live the other day that Hornswoggle has a TikTok. First of all, they never sent me Hornswoggle's TikTok account, and I'm kind of very upset about it.
Phil, you and him are going one-on-one, but I'm telling
that's
you
exactly what they were trying to do. They were trying to tag Hornswoggle in almost every single one of my videos. I'm like, I don't want to wrestle the guy.
But sadly, Phil, they said that he was going to go over. That means you're going to have to put him over. You're going to have to put Hornswoggle over.
Damn.
No, I'm not doing that.
You have to put him over. The man's going to do the fruit roll. It's going to be fruit roll-up season. It's fruit roll-up season. He's going to do the fruit roll-up.
Why do I have to put Swoggle over? Why do I have to lose my debut?
It's a damn leprechaun. That's why.
If you get to beat Cody Rhodes 5 out of the 7 times you face him, why can't I beat Hornswoggle once?
Take the spot, kid.
All right, you get to be all right. He gets a dub, but then you get a dub next. You get your rematch and you win. So
I'll do it best of 3. I don't care. I just need a win over Hornswoggle. That would
all
just
right. He gets 3 dubs. All right, you get 2 dubs. You get 2 dubs. He only gets 1. How's that?
No. What the fuck? No. I gotta go.
I said you get 2. I said you get 2 dubs, but he only gets 1.
Hit the ropes.
Hit the ropes.
Hit the ropes.
On
No.
On
So
my
so
live,
here's what.
on
So
my live yesterday, on my live a couple of days ago, you want me to do a backflip to break my neck. Well, what do you want me to do?
That is not what I said. All I
That's
wanted
exactly
you to
what
do
you
was
said. You
backflip.
said do a
added the break
backflip.
neck part. You added the break neck part. All I wanted you to do was do a flip. That could have been
I
done
can't
anyway.
do a flip, dude. I'd break
How was
my
I
neck.
supposed to know that?
Oh, so what I was gonna tell you, so Anthony, so I got signed. When I signed my life term contract at All Elite, Phil, you weren't there. I talked to Tony, and I said I'm gonna take 5 dubs.
I was on speakerphone the entire time, bro. You just weren't listening. You are not winning 5 out of the 7 matches you get with Cody Rhodes. That's just
Yes,
not
I
happening.
am. You told me straight up when I was
Why
right there. I was talking to
having
Tony
7
right there.
Why are they having 7 matches? Who wants to see that?
Exactly,
And
right?
it said 5 dubs against him. 5 dubs.
I don't know, man. I could see Cody being like, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Cody does not like losing. He said it himself. He's not losing 5 matches.
Yes,
Man lost every
yes, he
week.
is. Whether he likes it or
Legacy.
not, he's losing 5 dubs. He's getting 5 dubs. Yeah, I'm getting 5 dubs out of that man. He only gets 1 or maybe
But when
2.
I meet him on February 23rd, we'll talk about it. I don't think that'll ever happen.
If he agrees for you to be like the majority winner, he might honestly just look strong. He might just like do some miraculous like.
Well, I'll make him look strong. I'm not gonna make him look weak for crying out loud. Like I'll make him look strong, even though I hate the man with a passion.
Just don't do like his match without. Just don't do like his match with Malachi Black, okay? Like he made that all about himself, regardless when he had that first match against him.
Let's not make that an Anthony Ogogo situation, please.
Yeah, please, no Anthony Ogogo. I don't even know if
Josh,
he's
you
in
are
the company
absolutely
anymore.
correct. You are absolutely correct about that. That is a good comparison.
He
Honestly,
should retire. He should
Listen,
retire.
Tom Brady retired.
Yes, God.
Cody Rhodes.
Well, here's the thing. Tom Brady officially retired today, but thank you, Adam Schefter, for spoiling it yesterday, saying, "Oh yeah, he's planning on retiring tomorrow." Let the man retire in the way that he wanted to retire. Don't spoil the goddamn thing. Adam Schefter, like I love you and all and everything, but man, you're a bozo for that one. Spoiling his retirement.
Bozo.
He is a bozo. He spoiled his retirement. I mean, all you have to do is just say, "Hey, I want to retire on my own terms."
Just let you know,
Not have Shefty spoil it.
Well, just let you know, Patrick Mahomes is the next star after Brady left.
Patrick Mahomes is going to be like the next most hated but loved professional football player in all of the NFL. So
yeah,
he's already technically that now. So.
Better get used to it.
And I have to deal with him every single time.
Sadly, Lamar Jackson is not that guy, pal. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Phil. I am so sorry.
Lamar is the best. Okay, well, recency bias aside, with Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson could be talked about as one of the best in the AFC, as the best in the AFC North when it comes to quarterbacks. Big Ben is gone. So I don't have to deal with his ass anymore, thank God, because he gave me heart attacks every single time we had to play the Steelers.
Britt's upset about that still. I know she is.
Baker Mayfield, he's ass. I'm sorry, but I don't care. It's the Browns. I don't care. See, when Britt Baker said that there was a Baker that we can all count on, that's exactly. That was exactly the right phrasing that she had to use in Cleveland. Thank you so much for Baker for that. And then Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's in the Super Bowl, so I shouldn't even be talking. But regardless,
don't forget to tell us.
Joe Burrow's that man. Joe
Burrow's great. Joe Burrow is good, but I can't root for the Bengals in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, I can't. Even if they're my AFC rival, I can't do it.
My man Coop Cup better take that.
Phil.
The Rams better win that Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
If we beat the Rams, my state. I'm from Ohio. Just to everybody that don't know, I'm from Ohio. But anyway, if the Bengals win, it's going to be a whole parade around my state.
Well, yeah, they always have the whole Super Bowl parade wherever they win it. So, The Ravens did suck this year. I'm sorry, and I will say that, Josh. I will.
I'm a Falcons fan, so we sucked.
We always suck. Last time I saw prayers when the Eagles won, and that was like a riot. That That was a 4-week.
Is anybody else shocked that the Eagles made it to the playoffs as I am? Like they were not a playoff
You
team.
need to
I'm
talk to
sorry.
Mayfield. You need to talk to Jalen.
Well, I'm sorry, but they were not a playoff team, and I don't even care if Mitri sees this part of the podcast. I know.
You might want to sell out before you.
I don't care. Listen.
The Eagles
Listen.
suck. The Eagles
The Eagles are bad, dude.
You better chill out.
The Eagles are trash. I ain't gonna lie. They're fucking ass. I ain't gonna lie.
They were not a playoff team this year.
Eagles are some buns. The Falcons suck too, so you get your 28-3.
Sadly, yes. We suck. We suck.
The Ravens suck too, and we didn't even make the playoffs. So technically, I honestly really shouldn't be talking. But at the end of the day, they weren't a playoff team. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you guys.
I like Jalen Hurts. They just suck.
Jalen Hurts is not bad at all. He's just in a terrible situation. Draft around the kid, and maybe you can actually do something.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna stop now before I get myself into any more trouble. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on the podcast. If you liked what you saw, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. It helps the channel out greatly. Continue to hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 400, but we want to get to 500 by WrestleMania. That would be absolutely fantastic.
Not yet. We'll get that merch. Not yet, but go get that merch.
Well, once everybody sends me the designs or whatever, we can actually get that store up and running.
Merch
is happening. Merch is happening.
Anthony, better get the hoodie.
I'm still waiting on my design, man. For my shirt to come in.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for my shirt to come in from that fundraiser.
Yeah, so check that out if you haven't.
Yes, the links for that fundraiser is in the link of my bio and in Anthony's as well. It's a great thing that Comic Punk Guy, Love Panda, and everybody else in the wrestling TikTok community was doing over there. Two amazing charities as well. So go support it if you can. Also, I know this is not even a part of anything here on OTB, but I duetted a video of Sledge. Sledge is a professional wrestler from Ring of Honor. If you guys don't know, he is on TikTok, and he is doing a fundraiser for a soup kitchen. God dang it! I'm sorry, Sledge. I'm butchering this so hard, but I do want to get it right for you.
The California Food Bank.
California Food Bank. That's it. I thought it was a soup kitchen, but the California Food Bank. His goal for donating for his donation is $2,000. He streams on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and just by doing the exclamation point dono, you can go to the link that it'll send you to, and you can donate as much as you can. $2,000. I'm donating $10 to the fundraiser when he goes live tomorrow. And it's every little bit helps. For $2,000, I know this community can do great things. Let's get to that $2,000 goal for Sledge, because he is great. He's an amazing guy to talk to. I've talked to him actually on numerous occasions on his TikTok lives, and he's an absolutely amazing dude. So Sledge it's not even a shameless plug. That's a plug straight for you guys. Continue to kill it, and we'll get you to that $2,000 goal for that food bank. So thank you so much. We will continue to do our best here on OTB. Thank you guys, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. Do you guys have anything else to say before we get the hell out of here? It's 20 minutes till 1 o'clock in the morning where I'm at, but hey, you know, it happens here. It happens here. We're usually here by now.
But it's worth it. Worth it.
Oh yeah.
One thing.
Uh-oh.
I had a phone call. New music coming on Valentine's Day.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I'm done. So,
oh yeah.
we done.
You're doing a track with Kanye
in the booth again.
It's game time.
Off Not Famous in the booth.
It's game time.
You gotta get me in the booth with you, man.
I've been waiting. You won't come here.
Hey, I can't just drive to Philly, bro.
You know where I'm at. Word.
Phil.
I'm not here
Phil. Laugh. You need to get Phil on the track. You need to get him in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Send me some bars. Send me some bars, and I can do it.
I'm leaving very soon, so it's oh my god, you better do it quick.
Send me some bars, and I can do it for you.
All right, cool. That's all I gotta say. Cool.
So go ahead, guys.
Yeah, right now. Right now.
He's legitimately gonna write me a song right now and send it to me as soon as we get off here.
Phil verse. I get focused. Oh yeah,
Phil gonna be spitting some bars. I can't wait for that.
Is the song gonna be about Caleb Braxton Loft?
Oh no.
No.
I wrote her a special song. I'm gonna sing that to her on her wedding day. But
yeah, okay.
as for everything else, I'm gonna wait for that. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah.
Oh my god.
Shout out Melina too. Melina, I love you. I know you're not watching this, but I love you, Melina. I'm so happy.
She could be watching. She could be.
I'm so
you
happy.
know, everything about that Rumble appearance is just.
I'm so happy you're at the Rumble. Oh my god.
Sasha did the splits, and I my heart.
No, we're not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna start. Nope. We're not gonna talk about that. That was too much for me.
No, it was a lot. It was a lot.
My heart dropped when I saw that. My heart dropped when I saw that, bro. Like I couldn't.
That was way too much,
bro. Not to mention, like, I don't know if you guys saw, but like, you know, Suplex.
Yes,
yeah.
We know Suplex very well.
Yeah, he was talking about like asking if they could like see like the other view because there was like some guy in the audience who recorded the back. If you guys want to,
respect.
We found it. We like found the guy who actually did it. Like it's so funny. Like,
I wish I was the ring man. All right, we gotta move on. We gotta get out of here.
He's an amazing guy, man. Like we had him here on the podcast at one point, and the man, he's just an amazing guy to talk to. Like he's absolutely killing it right now. And
thanks for getting me in the hooks. And thanks for getting me in the hook suplex. Hook is great.
Well, yeah, he and I are probably like the two biggest Hook fans on TikTok, and then all of a sudden I got Loft into him. Suplex got Saul into him. Like it's Hook is amazing.
You got to see Hook when you go to AEW. So.
Listen, Hook better be on Rampage, or he better be on Dynamite.
Phil, you need to talk to Tony. Let him get the title. Let him get the title.
Listen, I see Hook as a TNT champion next year. Period. Period.
Yes.
The man is absolutely that fantastic that I see him as a TNT champion in 2023.
Phenom. No, it's gonna be cold tonight, bro. There's a snowstorm coming my way.
Do not have your socks off, dude. That's not good.
Put them on.
Frostbites, bro. Frostbites.
Put them on. What?
Put your socks on.
Yes.
What's going on here?
If anybody sleeps with their socks off, that's just weird. You weirdo. Like Becky says, you Ronnie, you weirdo. You have your socks off. Yeah, your socks off.
Becky to me.
Man, we better not make it gonna be mad at us if you could have Becky for.
Listen. I say Becky Lynch's clothes are better than Becky Lynch says her own wording. So,
you little weirdo. I love it.
We gotta go. We're shooting. We gotta go.
I don't care. Becky Lynch is terrible.
Becky Lynch is great. Stop hating. Stop hating.
This was outside the brand.
Becky's great. Stop hating.
Thank you. That's a difference of opinion. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you guys very soon. Friday. No, tomorrow. Jesus, what am I talking about? It's Tuesday. Dynamite. CM Punk versus MJF going to be fantastic. Brian Kendrick makes his AEW debut against Jon Moxley. Brody King and Malachi Black in a tag match. I'm set, y'all. I'm set. I can't do this anymore. we got so much great shit on AEW, and I cannot wait for it tomorrow. Last probably not gonna watch a single thing of it, but
unless Jade's on the show.
Unless Jade Cargill is on the show, he's not watching it.
I want to see Punk and MJF. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be.
We're in
great.
Chicago, bro. Like
The
we're in
MJF to
Chicago.
whoop his ass.
MJF needs to beat CM Punk, and I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Red
I'm
Velvet better
sorry.
be on the show too. Red Velvet better be on the show too.
Velvet. Listen, Red Velvet, Jade Cargill, Britt Baker. Oh my God! Seriously, if that was a triple threat on Dynamite, I think Loft. Listen, Loft and I don't even know what we would do if Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, and Red Velvet were all on our television screens in a triple threat.
Oh man, where's Tony? Where's Kiera Hogan at? I see her on Dark. Put her on the damn show. I swear, man.
Put her on the damn show.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
Give me what I want.
You know
All right, we gotta
what?
get out of here.
Put her
We gotta
on
get
the
out of here,
damn
man.
show.
I did a give me what I
Cena.
want TikTok, and I just posted it. So if you
I
guys
saw that.
just
I opened my
continue
phone and
scrolling
folks
through,
screaming at me. I was like, what's going on?
well, give us the trios titles and just give me what I want, and I'll be okay. Thank you guys. We're legitimately going to get out of here now. I appreciate you all. Road to 400, road to 500. Click subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And we will talk to you guys later. Peace out, y'all.
Be the ones.
We the ones. We the ones. We the ones.